any central bank, that single mandate is price stability, being able to bring down inflation. Now, we live in an environment that is based on what they call fiscal dominance, in which the role of the state in the way it does its budget and so on and so forth is overwhelming. And often it just does not pay much regard to, controlling liquidity, the pattern of budget spending and the rest of it. We do not calibrate it, to sequence with the actual pattern of rise and fall of liquidity in the economy. And there's not much coordination between the monetary authority and, the fiscal side. We need to see more and more of that. So that if money is suddenly pumped in, the central bank should know about it and should have a way of, inoculating that money. And even temporarily maybe sterilizing it into treasury bills or something like that, so that, it is the liquidity rate is slowed down and taken care of. That is one aspect. The other aspect also is that, for example, the Monetary Authority has a lot of intervention funds, and which is literally just based on creating money in order to finance certain needs in the economy. The Anchor Borrowers Program, they're all noble. Except that I worry that, you see, you may be robbing Peter to pay Paul, that your good intentions might actually help to fuel inflation. So the pattern of the borrowing, the pattern of the spending, and how those things are done need to be carefully calibrated so that they do not lead to an inflationary spiral. So we need to do more. We also need to boost confidence. One factor that is very clear is that when people live in uncertainty, they migrate from naira to dollars because they don't know what will happen. Will the country survive? Will it disintegrate? We're not sure, so let's put our money safely in dollars.
So you think the political uncertainty is also fueling this?
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Many factors do that. And of course, when the exchange rate continues to fall, it leads to an inflationary, it also contributes to inflation. It's not the only determinant, but it's one of the most important determinants in addition to food, which accounts for 62% at our last econometric modeling that we did, accounts for something like 62% of the determinants of inflation in this country. So several things need to be done. There's the monetary side, there's the fiscal side, and also, of course, taking care of the political uncertainty, reducing it. Uncertainty is always a fact of life, but we can reduce it to a level where investors and other economic actors can easily calculate probability risk.
That's going to be, that's always been tricky and that's always been very delicate. And you just spoke again to something as equally delicate, which is the balance between fiscal and monetary policy.
Exactly.
Some people will argue that in a recession, we've heard the federal government say over and over again, we intend to spend our way out of the recession. And if you ask a number of Nigerians, they're going to tell you, we're not seeing the money. Things, the money is yet to circulate, as the case might be. But it would seem that from the CBN standpoint, it looks like money is being pumped in and is also adding to this inflationary pressure. Is that right?
Well, it depends on how it is pumped. If it is pumped in the wrong way, it can lead to inflationary spiral. But if it is pumped into projects, into infrastructures, into things that create real value and also generate jobs, then...
What sense are you getting right now? What sense? We've seen the federal government say that they're going to be pumping money into infrastructure, but they also want to ensure that they put money in the hands of people, especially, the vulnerable people. This is the social investment program. It's one of the ways they're doing that. But what sense do you get? Do you think it's been pumped in the right direction, or do you think that there could be better management of that?
Oh, no doubt there should be better management of that. There should be much better management of that. We should prioritize public expenditure framework to ensure that, you know, the bulk of resources go into very productive sectors that generate value, create jobs. That is very important. And yes, it is noble, and I'm all for it, that we should help the poor and put money in their pockets. But we must be careful, because it is said that hell is sometimes paved with good intentions.
The road to hell?
The road to hell is sometimes paved with good intentions. Because in Brazil, when President Lula set out his program for the poor, social transfers, the Bolsa Familia, and the Zero Hunger program, they first of all did a very detailed study of the social structure of poverty in Brazil. They did a geographical analysis of where the poor are predominantly, how they live, what the needs are, and then they created pilot projects, tested them, and then replicated them in other areas. So it was very clear, you know, and there was a proper data register of the poor, and there was a cutoff, you know, a system of cutoff and rigorous monitoring. Here we just sat down and said, okay, we're going to help the poor, and then there's no rhyme or reason